Hello, everybody. Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of Caution Laps with Casey Bristow and NSRLA podcast. I am your host, Casey Bristow. Today is episode number 7, and we're filming it on a Monday. Filming, recording, whatever you want to call it, on a Monday. My guest today is the driver of the number 93 for Fast Living Motorsports, Mr. Isaac Wilson. Isaac, welcome.
What's going on, guys?
Well, not much. How's your day going?
Well, since I didn't have work today, pretty good. I told the boss I was coming late because we had the ice cream come through, and I was like, "Look, I live 45 minutes away. I take a lot of back roads. I was like, I'm gonna come in late just because of the fact I don't know what they look like, and I don't want to wreck going to work." So I woke
Yeah.
up like around 8 o'clock, and he called me right after I woke up. Hey, have you left the house yet? And I'm like, "No, why?" He's like, "Just don't come in. You only have like 7 stops." I'm like, "Yep, bet." I'm not driving 45 minutes for 7 stops. Yep, nope.
Yeah, no, yeah, I hear you. I'm not a big fan of the snow for this reason alone. If the roads were automatically clear, because we got hit, well, they were expecting us to get hit at one point with like 13 to 15 inches of snow, but it was more like not even an inch or two. But this is why I don't like snow. I'm a spring and fall weather type of guy. It's because the icy roads. It's just so uh, it's annoying. And then like walking in my profession, walk. I mean, I do a lot of walking, somewhat, kind of like you. If you got to get out of your truck and give the package, like if my socks get wet, it like ruins my day. I hate wet socks.
So growing up in Washington, I love the snow. I love the snow. I'm fat. I'm like a polar bear. I love the winter. I hate the heat. Right? It's the ice I don't like. It's because when it snows on the road, it's like yeah, it's slippery, but you still have some traction. Your tires still grip that snow and stuff like that. When it's ice, you might as well throw ice skates on thing and go and drive. There ain't no stopping you. There's no stopping. So I love the snow. I hate the ice. So when I found out we're getting hit with ice, I was like, oh, this ain't good. We got lucky because we were supposed to get almost a half an inch of ice, but late Saturday night, the moisture like hit like a wall, and it stopped around 2. And then yeah, we got some stuff last night, but it wasn't horrible. So
Yeah,
love the snow, hate the ice.
they're talking about us getting hit with snow again next weekend.
Yep.
Like, come
Yep.
on, like this is
Bring
ridiculous.
the snow on. I love the snow.
This is
I hate that
ridiculous.
I had to miss work, but I love the snow though.
Yeah. Only thing I like when it comes to ice is like ice hockey or ice skating or ice cream or icy stuff like that. Enjoyable things. Um, Not like the ice that you have to drive on. It's not fun. But so yeah, you were mentioning you're from Washington State. I'm looking at my notes that you gave me. You're an Army veteran. Shout out to you. And you're a father of two. And now you live in North Carolina. So tell me all about that. And then some of your hobbies are you like to game. We'll talk about that as well. But just what's your story like? You grew up in Washington, but like, what was life growing up for you? Were you always like a racing fan? Did you play sports growing up? What's the Isaac Wilson story?
So yeah, I grew up born and raised in Washington. Um, Growing up, I was in sports a little bit. I always tell myself my biggest regret growing up not playing football. I hit a very very late growth spurt. Going into my senior year, I was like 5'8". I'm now sitting 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", and I've been told by multiple people when I was in the army when we were playing flag football, they're like, "Did you ever play football?" I was like, "No." Like, "Oh, you should have." So I have the body build for it. I always tell myself I regret not playing football. But no, I played baseball for the most part, younger, growing up, and as I got into high school, I didn't quite have the hand-eye coordination for it, and I don't like getting hit with a baseball; it hurts, so I don't
Yeah.
want to play baseball too much. So got into high school, got into cross country. For the guys who maybe don't know what that is, basically we run. Um, I hate running, but I like doing cross country. It's weird. We would do what's called a 5K, 3.1, 3.2 mile races. Did that in the fall. The winter sport was swimming. Um, Loved swimming. Was varsity 3 of my 4 years in high school. Um, did that growing up. Got into racing. It's so funny when I tell the story. So I got into racing in '01. It was really weird me getting into racing because everyone knows what happened in '01, and I wasn't quite grasping what the big deal was.
Hmm.
I'm 8 years old at the time. And so, I was kind of following racing here and there. Growing up, I just like watching the wrecks. I didn't start digging into racing until after I joined the army when I had some more free time on my hand. I wasn't distracted with school and sports and stuff like that. So 2011, 2012 started really getting into racing, really started liking it. So this season is weird for me because this is the first season since I actually started really liking racing that the chase is back. I was not really watching racing a lot in the chase. My whole time watching racing the last 11 years was the old championship format. We talked about it before. We weren't a big fan of it coming down to one driver. Yes, my favorite driver benefited from it this season, but
Oh boy.
I don't like the fact that it always comes down to that one race.
Yeah, no.
And really, it wasn't an issue until the next chance. If you ask me, I always thought I never really saw the wrong champion crowned or an unworthy champion crowned until the next gen. And then, of course, we saw the whole Penske three-peat right there, and I was like, Blaney, yeah, you can say he deserved, but Logano did not deserve the two championships. I know Alex probably listened to this. He'd be like, "Shut up, Isaac," because he's a big Joey Logano. I call him Logano fan. But I'm kind of curious to see what's gonna happen with the chase and stuff like that. But no, now it's kind of a religious thing for me every Sunday. Don't matter how bad the racing is, I sit down and watch the racing. Sometimes I'll be playing a game and have it on my second screen or something like that. But if we ain't watching it, we're going to the tracks. I average 6 races. I've went to both Darlington races the last 2 years. I've been to Martinsville quite a few times. I've been to Charlotte a couple times, Bristol twice. I went to Dega last year. Went to Atlanta one 2 years ago. So basically, all the tracks around me, minus Nashville, I've been to.
That'd be a fun track to go to if you're a single guy, not I mean just anybody in general. Like if you're a single guy, because if you like went to downtown Broadway, eye candy all over the place for the single
Yeah,
guys out there.
that's one of the advantages of living where I live at, and that's why I like that I got lucky enough to get stationed in Fort Bragg.
But isn't that
Was
like miserable base? Like I'm an Air Force guy, so I only know like I mean there's Air Force bases out there that are they're
oh, your chair
rough.
force, gosh.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't doing a lot of
Uh,
sitting in chairs with my job. I was security forces, and we're standing at the gates, and I mean sitting in cars on the flight line. It is,
but
you know,
no, I mean Fort Bragg isn't bad. I mean, it's a big airborne operations base, so I mean, it's the airborne capital of the army. Fort Bragg. So I mean, it's not bad. And then I can kind of get the story of me going to the army. I sucked in school. I barely. When I say talking barely graduated, I had to do a credit retrieval in 1 week to get my diploma before I shipped out to the army. So literally joined the army or back in Washington was common back then. I don't know now was working in the forest industry, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I joined the army in 11. Went to basic at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. That was a culture shock. You go
I've
from
heard that.
barely you go from barely getting above 90 degrees every like I think you could probably count in both your hands how many times Washington State got above 95 degrees in the summer. It does not get hot. It's humid, so the heat does suck. So I remember when I flew out, I hopped on a plane. It was like 83 degrees. I hopped off that plane in Oklahoma. It was 103 degrees, and it was dry heat, something I had never experienced. So that was getting used to that heat was probably the hardest part of basic for me. So I went to basic and SIL. I went to AIT, our elective training for mechanic in Fort Lee. I think it's called whatever it's called now. I don't know what it's
Just say
called now.
Fort. That's you went to in Virginia, right?
Yeah, it's called
Yeah,
something else now.
yeah,
But yeah, I went to Fort
something
Lee,
silly.
and then I got orders to come to Fort Bragg. Was here until 2015 until I went to Korea for a year. That was interesting, and then came back here for the final few years of my career, and then I got med boarded out because my back got all screwed up from just torturing my body and not listening to my body. Stuff start hurting. I'm like, it's fine. It'll stop hurting in a couple weeks, and it just ended up taking its toll. And got 4 bulging discs in my back now, so that's always fun.
Are you getting your VA disability money?
Yeah, yeah,
Heck yeah,
ninety
there you
percent,
go.
90% through the VA, and then now I have this job now, which is pretty nice because it makes it really easy for my wife to be a stay-at-home mom because I basically bring in two incomes between my VA and
Yeah,
my regular
dude,
job.
that's nice. I get some VA disability, but it's not much. Um,
You should get
the
re-rated.
Well, um I got I'm getting $600 a month,
Because
and I
I'll
try like
tell.
I got it for one certain thing, and then I tried getting some other things, and then like the VA's like, nope, denied. I'm like, what? So I had to go like get. I didn't do any documentation. I was like,
Oh
so
no!
yeah. So I went
Okay,
to get.
answer me this: do you still have all your medical records from when you were
There's
in?
somewhere. There's somewhere.
So there's lawyers out there that will fight for you to get a raise in your VA, and what they'll do is they won't charge nothing, and if they win the case, they'll take a certain percentage of your increase of pay for X amount of time to pay for their services, and once you pay them off, then that's all their money. It's just my jump from 90 to 100 is the hardest jump in rating you could do. It's easier to go from 10 to 100 than it is from 90 to 100.
Yeah, I'm technically rated 10% disabled.
I would look into finding some lawyers and they'll look over all your medical records and they'll fight for you for the in the at the VA.
Yeah, well, I my wife and I considered that option, but like I had to go get a diagnosis, so I like went and had all these things looked at me and they're like, "Oh, you're fine." But I'm like, I experience aches and pains, and then like this one doctor's like, "I want you to go to physical therapy." And I'm just like, "You know what? No, no thank you. I'll just take my money and be happy with it, and that's that." But I mean,
It it's funny you say that. So when I first started having my back problems, oh gosh, in like 2014, like so I stayed in 5 more years and my back first started hurting me and I just toughed it out. When I first started having my back problems, I went and like, oh, it's just a pinched nerve or it's just arthritis, this and that. And they never gave me an MRI. They didn't give me an MRI until it was like, hey, I want to get my board. Oh, let's get you an MRI. Well, if I know that easy, I said that 5 years ago. Like, damn.
I get a
So,
I got a brother in the army who's out in the field right now because he's infantry. Shout out to JP. I hope you're doing okay. And a brother that was in the Marines, and
oh, the crane eaters.
yeah. My dad is convinced that they'll get a lot of disability money, and I hope they do. And if they do, luckily, whenever they decide to file, I might try again. Then I don't know. They say you have a year to appeal. I don't. Who knows? I see people posting about stuff like that on veteran pages for face on Facebook, like I did this, and this, and they look like they've been out for like 15 years. So I don't know. We'll see. But um, you were mentioning earlier. You said you wish you had played football. Um, I played football in high school one year. I played the bench, but I had to do it all over again. They put me at defensive back, but if I had to do it all over again, I'd like try and punt because I feel like punters don't get enough credit. Like those guys today could play quarterback if they needed
Yeah,
to. They're big. They're not like these dinky guys like 30, 40 years ago. These guys are like monsters. And they like
yeah,
do these things that like put spins on the ball that's just insane. My favorite player for my team's the punter. So,
yeah.
shout out to Tress
I
Way of the
wish.
Washington Commanders.
I wish I would have played football growing up. Like I just have that really scrappy mentality. Like when I was playing flag football in the army, they would just be like, they'd be surprised on like how quick I was because I'm a bigger guy. Like, how are you so quick? I'm like, I don't know.
Just some guys are fast.
I can't run for long, but like when I was in the army, I could run fast, but not for long.
It's you mentioned running, and then you mentioned cross country. When I was was my junior year, or excuse me, I was sophomore to going into junior year, and like it was like near the end of sophomore year, and we were doing conditioning for the football team, and they had like certain people like do practicing with track and field, and back in the day, 20 something years ago, um, I could run like for a long period of time. Um, so they had some guys doing the long jump, I think high jump, and for whatever reason they said, "Hey, go practice with the cross country team." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever. Just it's conditioning." And they're like, "We'll be running tomorrow at 6 a.m." And I'm thinking to myself, what?
I
I
so
ain't running at 6 a.m. Like they basically put me on the cross country team, And I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. I thought it was just like conditioning and I was just practicing with y'all. And the guy that was the coach was like, you need to let someone know if you're going to quit. And I'm like, how can I quit if I never joined anything? So,
I like cross country. I mean, it's funny I say this. I hate running, but I liked it because growing up in Washington, like cross country, is exactly what it sounds like. You know, you run through a bunch of trails, and like some of the meets we went to, just the sights you could see. So, one of the meets we went to every year was up near Port Angeles, Washington, and for those of you guys who don't know, Port Angeles is up almost as far north as you can get on the Strait of Juan de Fuca. And when we get to on a clear day, on my 4 years going there, it happened once. You can look across the strait and see Canada.
nice.
So that course is really cool. If you've ever seen 10 Things I Hate About You, that was filmed in Tacoma,
Is that
and
the
one of
one
the
with
places we
Heath Ledger?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I just know it was filmed in Washington at Stadium High School in Tacoma. We did some cross country stuff there and swim meets there, so
Nice.
it was always cool doing cross country and just going seeing different sights and views. Practicing sucked, but getting out of school early once a week for 2 or 3 months is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's so in Washington, like so guys like you know, your age and my age, guys in our almost mid 30s, um grew up were like young age when or teenage years when the Twilight movies come out, and of course it's like there's a reason I'm asking this. It's based in a place called Forks, Washington.
They
Um,
never filmed at Forks,
well, yeah, I so
but interesting enough,
the
they did.
scenery. I was going to
So
say, is that what Washington looks like? I know a guy
kind of yes.
that I worked with, and
If
he said that's like Eastern Washington
Have you ever seen the movies?
of Twilight.
Yes.
I've seen them. Yeah.
So one of the more common scenes. So when they're jumping off that big rock, that big cliff, um, that was actually filmed about 45 minutes from where I grew up, and there's a really common rock you could jump off of, and that's where they filmed that at.
Well, I was going to say, like in the movie, it's considered air quote Forks, Washington.
Yeah.
Is that what it actually looks like, though? Like a lot of
I
trees, a
mean,
lot of
yes,
cloudiness, and
yes, a lot of cloudiness, a lot of when it. So everyone thinks Washington rains a lot. It does to a point. So um, when it rains, it's not really like a torrential downpour. Like I would imagine you're on the East Coast somewhere because you said you guys are supposed to get snow.
then in
Like it's
Virginia.
not your, yeah, it's not so it's not like when we get rain over here in North Carolina, Virginia, right, where it downpours for a couple hours. It's just a very light rain all day long. Like it, let's say it rained for 10 hours in Washington, maybe a half inch to an inch of rain. That's how light it is. And I tell people all the time, it's interesting because on average, it actually rains more in North Carolina than it does in Washington.
Really?
In certain parts, I'm not like where I grew up in Shelton. We were at the foothills of the Olympic Mountains. It rained quite a bit there. But you go to Seattle, which for all you guys that are watching this, that say you've been to Washington, if you just miss Seattle, you have not experienced Washington. You've experienced Seattle. That's not Washington. Um, if you haven't left the Seattle or the really King County footprint, went and explored Washington, you haven't been to Washington. If you actually ever go there and you leave Seattle and you go to Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, the Olympic Peninsula, take this very scenic 101 drive that goes up north to the Strait of Juan de Fuca, goes all the way to the west to the Pacific Ocean, and it goes all the way down south to California. That is a very, very cool scenic drive.
Well, so in Washington, I imagine like how the movies of Twilight was portrayed. Like it was, like I said, these towns in the middle of the mountains, kind of like thing with a lot of the trees and whatnot. I imagine like that's extremely like when it's sunny and the like sun shooting through the trees and whatnot. I bet that is a sight to see.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said,
Um,
I grew up in the Olympic Peninsula, so I grew up around a lot of forestry and stuff like that.
And then doesn't Washington State, I don't know if it's maybe Northern California or Washington State, have those massive giant trees that you could drive through?
California.
That's California. Okay.
That's the
Okay.
redwoods. That's the redwoods in California.
Okay. Gotcha. Um, what else was I gonna say? Um, something about Washington now. I'm just absolutely drawing blank. Anyway, we'll move on. Um, so tell me about the army. What was your job?
I was a 91 Bravo light wheel mechanic. Um, and it's very interesting because going into the army, I had no mechanical experience at all. Like my only mechanical experience maybe changing oil. That's it. And everyone jokes that we're the fake mechanics because really it is like if you just go to AIT in the army and you get sent off to your duty station, unless you actually start learning your job, you won't know crap about vehicles. My actual first unit I was in was the parachute riggers. Um, and I did a lot more driving. I did mechanical work, but when I went to Korea, that's when I was really able to kind of hone in my mechanical skills. I kept doing that job for a bit when I got out, but I quit doing it just because of the fact that I'm not a people person. I don't like dealing with people. I don't like dealing with ignorance. So I ended up leaving that, and that's why I work for FedEx now because I can just sit in my truck, listen to podcasts, listen to music, BS with my buddies, and not have to
Yeah.
worry about dealing with too many people.
One of my favorite shows. You speaking of FedEx, one of my favorite shows is The King of Queens. And even though he's like, he's doing the same thing except he's working for IPS. Basically like
Yeah,
UPS or I mean same thing. Like just for I guess copyright reasons they just called it IPS. But um, his like his job looked interesting. Same as your job looks interesting. The only thing I think that would make doing that job not fun, one, driving that big truck and all the impossible traffic, but two, maybe some neighborhoods might not be safe depending on where you go.
it's it's funny you say that. So first and foremost, I have the country route, and the reason I have the country route is because I was originally in a very high residential route, and I can knock out 250 stops in 6 hours. I can do it quickly. But they offered me $30 more a day because we get paid by the day to go run a country route because they couldn't keep nobody on it. I'm like, I'll do the country route. I don't got to deal with traffic. I'm out in the country. I gotta go off road in my FedEx truck sometimes. Like, heck yeah. But the only downside of that is a lot of my neighborhoods are sketchy. As a matter of fact,
Hmm,
actually around this time last year, I had someone shoot at me. Like, not
really?
not so when I say at me, I don't know where. All I know is we got into a verbal disagreement, and I went to go deliver a package to his neighbor, and I can hear the pop. And I kind of flinch for a little bit. I look over, and you can see the pistol in his hand. So I don't know where he shot, but I was like, yeah, nope, not delivering here no more.
Yeah. So how does it work? Obviously, you get trained on it, but like, how does it work? Like, how do you know where to like? Do you just have a list and like you
So
obviously the package are in the back of the truck, but like for people like me and those that are going to listen, that our fellow competitors are going to hear this, explain how you know like where to like the package in the back of the truck. How do you know where to go first and make sure that you have those packages handy?
I use an app called Ground Cloud. Some people use a scanner. I like using Ground Cloud because I can circle parts of my route and it can plan it for me. And then when we go in the back of our truck, every package has a sticker on it. It'll be your route number, what your route number is. For my example, mine's 166, and then it'll be a four-digit number after it. So 1001, 1500, stuff like that. So when we get to the stop on Ground Cloud, let's say get to a stop and said, hey, this is SID 1001 X amount of packages. So we'll go and how our trucks are organized. They're organized by SID, and then we'll grab that package or those two packages, scan them, take them to the house, and deliver them. I'll say this,
What?
y'all, don't piss your FedEx drivers off because we can make your life a living hell getting your packages. There's
Yeah,
there's a customer I used to have that pissed me off one time, and what I did, I coded their package. I code 7, which we're allowed to do 3 days. After 3 days, they have to pick it up from the terminal. So I'll code it two
yeah,
days
that's
and
no
deliver on
fun.
the third day. So don't piss us off.
What is? Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Um, sorry, I burped a little bit. What? Like, so when does someone have to sign for a package? What's the reason if they might have to sign?
Adult signature. Usually alcohol, ammo, which is we can deliver ammo but not guns, which is kind of crazy. And we can't deliver tobacco, which is weird. But yeah, alcohol and ammo are adult signature required.
Gotcha.
Um, Usually, if you get something expensive, for example, um, when I deliver PCs, usually those are signature required. For the most part, though, the way I do it is, um, a lot of the houses, since I've had this route for almost 2 years now, the customers have told me, hey, if we're not home, just leave it here, and I let them know, hey, if it's adult signature, I can't just leave this here because let's say some kids ride his bike and they want to come grab this package of alcohol, then I just supplied alcohol to a minor, then that can get my ass in trouble.
Yeah.
So for the most part, usually requires signature for adult stuff. Um, really high expensive stuff are usually just direct signature required, and then every now and again we'll get like indirect, which is some weird stuff. Sometimes. Oh, and the other thing that's adult signature required, crazy enough, medicine like cough
Yeah,
medicine
I
from
could
Walmart.
understand that.
Cough medicine from Walmart, we have to get adult signature for. I'm like, that is so weird.
Guess because
Yep.
people can like get for
Mhm.
drug reasons. They were,
Yep.
like I'll go
We
get
had to
cough
we had to
medicine, and they'll be like, "Can I see
we
your
had a dude
ID?"
in the army that was getting high off of cough medicine.
So it's interesting that you mentioned not high, but so I work in law enforcement, and I work in a small community, but when the FedEx guys come through, sometimes they're like in vans, not even like the FedEx truck, or like they're like in the UHL truck sometimes. So I
Those
guess y'all rent
those
out trucks.
are yeah, during peak we usually rent enterprise trucks out. But
Gotcha.
if they're in a smaller van, that's usually express or people who are just taking extra from routes if we're too heavy for a day or stuff like that. They'll come in and they'll take some stops off of us. But I'm driving a big FedEx truck every day.
So I totally missed my exit, my turn when you were talking about the guy in the army that was getting high off of cough syrup. In my line of work, law enforcement, there was this family, mom and dad. They were like super old. They had to be like mid 70s or early 80s, and then they had this daughter that was late 40s, maybe early 50s. She was like, for her age, she was a very pretty woman. And then like they had like pictures of her when she was younger. And she's like, this lady was like very attractive, but she had an issue with alcohol, and I'm not talking like beer. Like she was drinking, um,
Rubbing alcohol.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
mouthwash, and
Yep.
like she was
Yep.
like super nice to me, but like she would like snap on her parents. Um,
Yep.
I think her
Very common
her
people in the army do that
father
too.
passed away here recently, so rest in peace to him. They were very nice people, but their daughter just was out of her mind. And I like whenever they would be like, "You gotta go to this address," I'd be like, "No, no." But
Not this
the
house.
daughter was always polite with me. I would find uh just I'd make conversation with her on whatever, and she's real nice. Then she'd be like yelling at her, and I was like, hey, just talk to me. So, um, so what games do you like to play besides iRacing? What's you said you're a gamer.
That like I'll get in these moods where I'll play a game and I'll grind it out for a bit. For example, there'll be times where I'll hop on Rainbow Six nonstop for a month, and then I'll get tired of the game and all the sweats and all the cheating. I'll get off of that. I actually fully gotten here. I was grinding out camos on the new COD,
Mm.
Battlefield. Every now and again, I get into survival games, like Minecraft, The Forest, Ark, stuff like that. 7 Days to Die. So it's like usually first person shooter survival games. I find it hard to play story based games now that I'm older. Younger, I love those story based games like 007 and stuff like that. But now I need like that multiplayer aspect. I can't do campaigns no more. I don't know what
I
it is. Maybe 'cause I'm so used to online gaming, but
yeah,
I just bought GTA 4. I played it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm bored of this game already.
I haven't found last game that I played and I was like really really into it was Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy one.
I can't play games like that.
I like it, but it'd be better if like or excuse me, that's not the last game I played, but that was one of the last. It's like the second to last game I played. The other one I played was the Star Wars Outlaws, and that I think got a lot of hate, but it wasn't terrible. But like, I like games like that, but I'd rather them be like, okay, you can do these story missions, but they have online as well,
I
and
think
you
the
could
last
create
Star Wars
whatever
game,
character that you want.
the last Star Wars game I like was Battlefront 2 on the PS2.
Battlefront 2 on the PS. I don't even remember that one. It's been so long. And they've made so many so many
Yeah,
Battlefront, so many Call of Duties. Can't. Last
this
Battlefront
was
I
back
liked was
before.
one.
this was like back before they had what you call it multiplayer and stuff like that. Like you could link up with a buddy at your house and you play split screen, but there's no
Right.
online play.
Yeah. So I look forward to whatever PlayStation games that they're gonna, because I'm a PlayStation guy. When it comes to console, so I look forward to whatever video games they're gonna have 10 years from now, and the graphics and whatnot. I hear there's, like I said, I like that Hogwarts Legacy game. There's gonna be a second one, and then rumor has it there's gonna be like a Red Dead Redemption 3, but who knows? One of my all-time favorite video games was Spyro. That's that was my jam.
Oh my gosh, Spyro and Crash Bandicoot growing up was
Crash was
the
cool.
gosh. I still find myself every now and again hopping on some Crash Bandicoot. Let's see, yeah, Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, and
Well,
oh, what was that game called? Something in Jax.
oh, Jack and Dexter.
Yes,
That
yes.
was a good one. That was a fun one. Another good one. I mean, this is like way back. Was the Mario parties for Nintendo 64?
Yep.
Those were for what I liked it, like playing the tropical, like being on the tropical map for whatever reason. Mario Party tropical island music. Shout out to whoever makes the soundtrack for those games because they've got it down. Anything Mario related is usually fun, unless it's Smash Brother. What's the one where you just fight? I get my butt kicked in that game, so I'm not a
Oh,
fan.
Super Smash Bros. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I couldn't win in
my
that
wife's good
game.
at that game. I can't play that game. No,
Yeah,
I
no.
button smash. I just spam a button.
Yeah, that's what I try to do, and I'm like, am I doing well? Am I? Because I would play with a friend of mine that he he would just smash. I think it was on 64 what we played it on. It had to have been or whatever. But like he would just smash buttons, and I'm like, am I doing anything good? I don't know. So yeah, not a big fan of that, but
People are really good at the game. They have memorized all the combinations for all the characters, and it's just like my 10-year-old. He's starting to memorize, and I'm like, wow, how are you doing that so quickly? Gosh.
yeah, it's not fun getting losing to a kid on a video game these days because then you hear them yelling at you. But then it's funny when you hear their parents yell at them because they said something they're not supposed to on the mic. um, and you got 10-year-olds on here that are like running really well on iRacing. Like I've
Yep.
been in official races and I've heard like a kid that sounds like he's 13, 14 years old, and they're like, "You stink," or whatever. "You wreck me," or whatever, and it's like, are you even old enough to be on here? And then you're like, they're kicking your butt. They like got like 8 seconds on you, and it's like, jeez, mom and dad must have a good setup.
I
How long you been on iRacing?
think this year will mark 5 coming up.
Okay, so you've been on it
I would
for
probably.
a while.
Mhm. Yep.
Um,
I've been on it for a while. I've spent my due money on a rig and wheel and all that stuff. I have 2 separate wheels now, and I have a nice GTR simulator rig. Yeah,
do you
I've been on
think
it for a bit.
do you think rigs make a difference in performance? Like, let's I'll give an example.
Absolutely, absolutely. I used to so a lot of it is comfortability for one. My first rig was a play seat, and I didn't mind it, but it had a rod going through the center, so I'd have to put my leg like flip the rod. This one's a more open area where there's nothing in the way. But I think the biggest change is definitely wheel and pedals. I always tell people if you're wanting to upgrade and you don't quite have the money for it, go with pedals first.
Someone
Um,
else has told
just
me that.
well, it so when I actually have V3s, I had them for a while. I won them in a raffle,
Nice.
and when I plugged him in, the first time I plugged him in, I was at Martinsville, and this was back in 22 ish. And I kid you not, I dropped almost on my first lap out. I dropped like almost 2.5 tenths, just because my pedals were more responsive. And it has like when you upgrade the pedals, I always say V3s. I don't like the Moses. I haven't heard good things about them,
That's what I
but
got.
it just gives you a more realistic feel and a more responsive feel to the pedals. Now, when you go with a direct drive wheel, I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. Don't get pissed when you're struggling with the car. It took me some time to get used to the wheel because they're so much more responsive and you feel all the bumps. the biggest mistake, not the biggest mistake, but the biggest issue I had when I went from my Logitech 923 to my Moza is I would always try to counter steer over the bump because you're not used to feeling bumps with the Logitech. So I would hit a bump and like go to counter steer and wreck. I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And so I kind of trained my mind to let the car roll naturally through the bumps.
I started out with a Logitech G29 uh, wheel and pedals, and it was nice. Like you just put it on the floor, and it had like these spikes on the bottom of the pedals, and it just like dug into the floor. But now I have a Moza R5 bundle. I'm still like one of those guys that has it attached to the desk. But one of these days, I'd like to get a sim rig. But like, I think one, I'm gonna have to figure out how to put it together because like these load cell pedals and like they say from what I was told, I think I spoke about this with Jacob last week, was that you want to have load cell pedals like for a rig. You can't just put them on the floor. Like
No,
you have to have them to a rig set up because it's like a good firm base and it just makes all the difference.
so
You can't put load
I'll
cell pedals on the floor because it's like they'll just start. You'll do nothing, literally nothing. You'll just slide.
I'll say this. So both my rigs I've had my PlayStation, my GTR. I mean, the GTR is a pain in the ass setup. Don't get me wrong. Build just because it came with no instructions how to go off the picture. I was like, this is great. But as far as hooking up the pedals and wheel, it's legit. You just line them up with the holes and you tighten the bolts down. It's not hard at all. The hardest part about it is the pedals because of the fact that sometimes the bolts are harder to get to tighten them down. But
Oh yeah, jeez.
once you get them tightened down, I mean, it's legit just plug and play.
There's
So,
like some people who are like mechanically smart. I'm not one of them. Um,
but if
and
you're looking for a rig, you go with Next Level Racing. The my team I run endurance racing with has a code that gets you a discount.
really,
Mhm.
it's
Yep.
I'm saying I'm not mechanically smart. I'm helping this ARCA team at Daytona that's local to where I live, and I told the guys that I'm like, listen, my goal is to change tires. Hopefully, maybe I can work my way up with this ARCA team and get like a truck race. If I could make a truck race at the end of the year, I would have like exceeded my goal. But I was telling them like the ARCA teams are more hands on, and I'm like, look, I am not a mechanical guy. I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing, but I can listen and I can follow instructions, and then I'll learn off that. So like, you just tell me what to do, and I will do it. And
Yeah.
it's been going well so far, so I'm really excited for the upcoming Daytona race.
I wish I can get connections to NASCAR. I tell people all the time, and
Dude,
you've
you want
probably
me to
seen
tell
it.
you the secret?
You've probably seen it in NSRLA. I am very, very, very good at pit strategy.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I do is I crew chief
Oh,
someone
that's
in
right. You did
the
mention
league.
you mentioned in your notes that you're like one of the best crew. You've been named like
It
one of the best crew chiefs.
it's I say that because in the main league I've been in for 5 years now. Uh, I've been told a lot of people if they're running behind me, they'll watch what I do if I pit or don't because they know if I'm coming down pit lane here, there's a reason for it. I've gotten really good at learning what these cars do with two tires, no tires, stuff like that. I've started messing with open setups. I actually got Alex to win my first time crew chiefing them. We came down pit lane, I threw two tires on, and I can't remember what Justin did. I did an adjustment to his wedge, and he went out there and won the race at Nashville. So like I tell people all the time, I was like, I wish I could get my foot in the door, and I like that's one thing I really want to try is go true chief in real life, just because of the fact I do have that mechanical knowledge. And yeah, race cars are a lot different than vehicles, but I have that knowledge there to where all I have to do is like, hey, this is how this works. Because with me, I'm autistic, so I learn stuff that I like really, really quick, which helped me become a really good mechanic. Is because I learned it really quick on what to do. So if you just get me there and I can start looking at stuff, what does what and what does this adjustment do, what do here, what tire pressure does what, I could probably learn in a couple of weeks on what calls to make. Because I tell you this all the time.
Um,
I was watching it. I was
s-
watching that championship race in November, and like caution came out, I was actually in a voice call somebody. I'm like, man, if Danny wants to win this championship, we should take two tires here. Like you think? And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, I think two
nice.
tires is the right call. You saw how Larson did on two tires. He held off just fine. It's just a two-lap shootout.
Yeah.
When I saw Denny
I
Pit take 4, I'm like, Chris Gale, you are a dumbass. Why would you take 4 there? You put 2 on, make a wedge adjustment to loosen the car up a little bit because 9 times out of 10, two tires I think usually tightens the car up. So you make a wedge adjustment, get a little bit looser, tire pressure adjustment, throw 2 on, and tell him to go at it. And he
I
came down and took 4.
I make the argument if he stays out, he might even win. Like if he takes none, because
I don't think so because I think if Larson was racing Hamlin there at the end with 2 tires, he would have pushed a lot harder. Larson didn't race that hard at the end of that race because he was racing Blaney and Kozlowski. They
well,
weren't for the championship.
how many cars stayed out? Like four,
Blaney and
four or so.
Kozlowski did for sure. I think 3 did,
No,
3 or 4.
Blaney pitted.
Oh,
We'll never know.
Kozlowski stayed out for sure.
We never know. I die a little. For whatever reason, it like I was thinking about Denny in that race today, and I just like when Denny retires, I will be a happy NASCAR fan. I'll be sad and happy because he's my driver and he won't be racing anymore. But like once he's gone, like I'm not pulling for anybody else. I'm just gonna be a strictly NASCAR fan. Like I would be happy to see certain drivers win races, but like I'm not gonna go to the track repping any other person's gear more than most likely. I won't be
So
doing that.
I'm the type of fan. I'm a Hendricks fan through. I say that, but I don't like. I'm not a big Chase fan. I wish Chase would leave
Well,
Hendricks. I can hate
Chase
him.
Elliott has the personality of like moldy
It's
breadcrumbs.
not just that he's a little whiny. You know what I mean? But anyways, so I'm a huge Hendricks fan, but I'm also the type of fan to where I like seeing new drivers win. I don't care if they beat my driver. Like for example, when Barry won at Vegas, I loved seeing that. Loved it.
Yeah, it's nice to see
Um,
like unless it's my driver winning, then I'm like happy. But like when you see guys that don't win often win, it is
hmm
nice.
I'm not like I know there's fans out there that come race season they'll be pissed off all week long if their driver loses. I'm not that type. You know, if my driver wins, cool. If you don't, it's it's whatever. But yeah, I like seeing new drivers win. Everyone hates SVG. I like SVG. I like the fact that he's
You
out
think
there
people hate
kicking everybody.
SVG? I don't hate him.
Oh yeah, they're so mad that he's good at road courses. Oh, he's only a road course ringer, and I'm like, so then your driver should get better. Plain and
Yeah.
simple. Like
Well,
Larson finished second to him at the Roval. Am I pissed off
hopefully
at it? No.
SVG gets it figured out on ovals because I think he could be the guy to do it. Um, few
He had a lot
thing,
of top 15s in the playoffs.
few things like one like when I was saying like when Denny retires, it's gonna be sad, but like I will have like races will be stress free from now on. Like once he's gone from race, once he's retired, the races will be stress free because I have no dog in the fight. And then two, him losing the championship, like I like Larson. I have nothing against Larson. His comeback is incredible, and he's an awesome racer. It stings that he beat my driver, but like when Larson wins, like I have no issue with it because like
It's
I think he's a very professional driver.
it's
Um,
funny you bring that up because I was so torn in that moment. Like I was so happy my driver won, but like, and I'm not a Hamlin fan. I don't like Hamlin. I've gained a lot of respect for him through his podcast and stuff like that. But I still don't like him. Maybe it's just because it's the NASCAR fan in me. You know, he's not liked and stuff like that. This year might be different just because, unfortunately, what happened last month. But when Larson won the championship, I was like, yeah, let's go, Larson. And then my mind went to, but Hamlin had that one. Like he
yeah,
won that. He did what he was supposed to do in that format and lost. And it's just funny how everyone's hating on Larson. Oh well, he backed into that championship. Actually, if you really look at it, he would have won the championship in the 2036 race format. He would have won the championship in the chase format as well. So every other format, Larson won the championship, except for that one format. Hamlin was supposed to win. It was 2.5 laps away, and Byron blows the tire.
yeah. Well, I guess there's always next year. This year, we'll see. Like, hopefully, for all the hockey fans out there that are Ray Bork fans, I know who Ray Bork is. Ray Bork won the Stanley Cup in his final year, so maybe Denny can do it in his final year. I don't know, but
I gotta
life
ask
is
you though. So
unfair.
yeah,
Life's
I
cruel.
gotta ask you though, because I've always wondered this. So because this kind of goes back to my pitch strategy. So when I load into a race, whether I'm crew chiefing, spotting, racing, broadcasting, anything, my mind is always kind of thinking what to do when. So for example, when I'm racing or crew chiefing, I already kind of have an idea in my head what I want to do as far as pit stops go, when to pit, what to do with tires, what to do with fuel, and stuff like that. Is that what goes through your head, or you just kind of like just green flag flies and we'll just pit when the time comes right? Because I'm always my brain is always thinking of what to do next as far as pit strategy goes, even while I'm in the car.
Not really. I mean, maybe near the
Yes.
if it's like a race near the end, and it's like it might come down to X, Y, and Z, then yeah. But like when I'm loading into like a league race or an official race, I'm trying to hope I can win. Like I'll have an idea if like I have a shot to win an officials like early on. But my mindset is just go out there and have fun, keep it clean, and don't like try to increase my I rating for officials and keep my safety rating up. For league races, it's just go out there, have fun. We'll see what happens late. You know, if I'm in contention late, then maybe. If I'm not, just aim for a good finish. But or hope for a
Well,
caution or whatever. But I'm not like the other day. Yeah, last night I did the 87s race at Talladega, and there's this guy that was leading the race for like a good chunk of time, but he was like wavy. He was like going high, then going low, and then going high, and then going low. And we were in the tri-oval, and I was in second. He was in first, and I like was giving him a good shove, and it got him loose, and it sent him up the racetrack. And he's like, I was for that race, I was number three, and he's like, hey, I think he said Casey. He's like, hey Casey, you shouldn't push in the tri-oval, just so you know. And I didn't say anything over the mic, but to myself, I was like, shut up. You know, who cares? Like, I don't, I don't care about you. I care about me. Like, I ended up finishing third in that race. I got passed in the tri-oval in the last lap, but like, I just try to go out there and just have fun.
no,
The only time I
when
like
that
turn it on is like, oh, I might have a shot to win here.
when that green flag flies, I'm always like, first thing I'll do is for the first couple laps, I'll look at my fuel, what's my fuel window, and stuff like that, and then I'll start planning. You know, as the laps go on, I kind of do like 5 or 10 lap increments. Okay, if caution comes out in 5 laps, what do I do? And like I'm already thinking before a caution even comes out, what to do, what to take for tires, what to take for fuel, and stuff like that. So it's interesting when we're racing with FLM and Jackson and Brandon are constantly asking, "Hey, what should we do here?" And I'm like, I'll think about it. I'm like, okay, I think we should pit here and take fuel, or let's pit here and take tires. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's do that.
Just do whatever, yeah. So like, if I'm like a perfect example, um, when we raced at Darlington in the Cup Series, I didn't take any tires, or I took right side tires. But I'm like, what would have happened if I took no tires and fuel only? Maybe I could have had a little bit more track position. I don't know. But like near the end of the race, like if I have nothing to lose, I'll gamble or whatever. I'm like, let me try this. But like at the beginning of the race, like when it's a stage race, and I'm not too worried about it. I'm just like I said, just trying to have fun. Um,
I'm always thinking what to do.
uh, a few months back, speaking of like people following you and whatnot, we were in a race, you and I, for a certain league that we're not going to name because my allegiance is right now to NSRLA. That's where I want to be, but I'm also a part of this other league. And we were at Richmond, and I spun you, and you yelled on the mic, and I didn't mean to do it. I just I think I drifted up, and then time had gone
it
by. You got by me, and I think I like gave you a bump, and you were like, "Seven, you need to learn some respect." And I just didn't
I
say
was
nothing on the
so mad.
mic.
I was
Um,
so mad, and it's funny
you remember?
because
You know what I'm
like
talking about?
it's funny because I think what was going on there is I had a strategy in my mind, and I was like, I can't get wrecked here because I had a certain strategy in mind, and like you'll find it, I get more animated and pissed off when, for example, Darlington. I don't want to talk about Darlington. Like
I
God,
know
that
what you're
always pisses
talking
me off
about. I
because
remember passing you. I'm like, please don't let me hit him. Please don't let me hit him.
Darlington pissed me off because I was like, I had it to a point to where I knew I needed to pit one time for fuel, and that was it. And I got that damage to ruin my whole race. But like when I have a plan in place and I know it's a race winning or even a top five or top three strategy, and I get wrecked, I get super pissed. I'm like, why? And that's what made me mad about Darlington. I'm like, dude, we're not even on the same pitch strategy. Why are you racing me like that? You're on a way different pitch strategy than me.
I
What
get
is
it.
the point?
I get it. That particular race at Richmond, I watched the stream and the guy like I ran over David Moyer twice that race and he yelled at me too and he's like the announcer's like Bristow has been a bit of a firecracker tonight. I finished like fourth and I like near the end of the race I'm like I had Andrew Allen in front of me and I'm like I could run him out. I could bump him out of the way for a podium, but I didn't. Um, and then I ended up like spinning him after the race, but I think it wasn't intentional, or maybe it was. I don't know, but um, I'll get competitive and I'll get upset. Don't get me wrong. I'm competitive. I want to do well, but like I think I get more competitive like in officials. Whereas like here with NSRLA, I'd say everybody gets along pretty well for the most part. You might have a disagreement here or there, but like in officials, like I'll be like into it. Like a perfect example is like running those 87s at Talladega or whatever, and um, I think my competitiveness comes out there.
Yeah, I don't do official ovals too much anymore. Just because of the fact that like it's just I don't know. Maybe it's the car. It just seems more toxic. I like road racing just because you have more control over your race than you do official. As long as you make it past that first lap, everyone's grouped up. You kind of control the outcome of your race, as long as you minimize your mistake. Oval racing, it's just I don't know. There's just too many times that I get caught in a bad end of a deal, and it's like, I mean, I could have done nothing else differently there. Road racing, it's like, okay, got past the lap. Oh crap, I wrecked. Well, maybe don't try pushing out a braking zone for no reason when there's still 20 minutes to go. So, but I mean, I'll probably be dealing with some officials come Daytona. I got to go for the three-peat. I won
Yeah.
the Roar in 24 this year, so I got to get a 500 win, whether it be a league 500 or an official 500. I want the Daytona sweep this year.
Speaking of Daytona and 24, um, a group of that I run with in like endurance races from time to time will run the LMP2. They were running um, the 24 hours of Daytona on iRacing, and the guy that put it together is like, "Do you want to run?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like,
I
and then he like got near the race time, like a few days before. He's like, "Do you want to run?" I'm like, "Just put me down as an alternate. I'll just sub." And they end up winning their class. And one of the guys was like, "I'm gonna give you all a challenge coin," and it was like it looks like a Rolex watch, and it has their names on the back of them. And I'm like, "Well, darn, I would have liked one of those. Guess who's not getting one?"
the thing I tell people about endurance racing all the
uh,
time, it's like getting a tattoo. It absolutely sucks. I mean, doing the 24, you're dog tired by the end of it. You're all hyped up like running on caffeine and stuff like that, and you just want to go to bed, and then you get done, you go to sleep, wake up next morning. All right, when's the next one? I was like, gosh, I wish I drove more. Like for example, this year I ran two teams. I ran with AWG, my main endurance team. We won in the caddy, and then I went and ran the F11, the Porsche. And it's like by the time we were done in the Porsche, I was like, I'm not doing this again. There ain't no way in hell. And it's like, all right, let's start practicing for bathrooms. Let's go.
I feel bad for some of
It's just
those
one of those.
teams. And did you watch the real 24 hours of Daytona? Did you see any of that?
Yeah, I was kind of shocked the 041 won. He got took out in lap one.
I was hoping that Cadillac would have at the end would have gotten by that Porsche. That Cadillac sounded so good. The engine was just like,
I didn't want to see Penske win again.
yeah, no, nothing against Penske. I didn't want to see that Porsche win over. And I have nothing against Porsche, but I wanted that Cadillac to win. And but the
I
only
wanted to
thing
Lincoln
that
had Village.
I,
That was Village's team.
well, that I was this might be an unpopular opinion. Um, but I like the only thing that makes me glad that that team didn't win was the fact that Connor Zilic didn't win. I think he's a bit of a, let me choose my words carefully, a jerk. A little bit of arrogance at like 19 years old. But like, if it was,
I mean, come on. You go out there and you win 10 races
I
in
know.
NASCAR. That's the
Yeah.
highest level of racing. You kind of got a little bit of a right there to be a jerk.
You
A
know,
little.
but I was gonna say like, um, if any one of us were in his shoes, like I can't say I wouldn't be the same. I would try not to be that way, but it would be very difficult. I feel
As long
like
as he's winning, it's
you're gonna walk
okay.
around with an ego. You're gonna walk around with some arrogance because just like you're legit. I think I didn't.
Yeah.
It was a race, and he was like cussing his team out over the radio last season, and I'm like, any one of those crew members could just break you into three pieces. So I kind of like not like stopped. I never was like a fan, but like at that moment, I was just like, I don't really like this guy, but he's very talented. So,
Oh, you think
um,
that's bad? You should really listen to some radio calls between Kyle Busch and his crew back in the day.
oh,
Oh
trust me, I
my!
know. Trust me, I know. Um, I went to Richmond back in 2000. I want to say it was 2009, and my middle brother was a big Kyle Busch fan. I think he liked the fact that he drove that M&M car, and he's just like, I'm gonna pull for Kyle Busch. And this is back in the day when Kyle Busch was just like a straight up villain. Like he could save you from drowning, and nobody would like, get away from me, Kyle Busch. You think? And my brother is like 10 years old, 8, 9, 10 years old, wearing Kyle Busch gear, and just people are like smack talking Kyle Busch to like a 9-year old kid. And this is like back when Richmond was like selling out and it was packed and whatnot. And my dad had to like exchange words with like grown adults because they were talking to his son in a poor manner. And I'm just like, sheesh. And it's crazy because uh, Kyle Busch won that race, and my brother got his autograph. And he ended up getting Kurt Busch's autograph. For whatever reason, my brother liked Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch. And they were. So my brother's decked out in all this Kyle Busch gear. And people were signing autographs. Like, it was weird. It's in a spot like it was like where the helicopters were. Like, when I go to Richmond now, I know where to go if I want to get. Like, I just go to see Denny. I'm trying to see Denny. Everybody else I don't care about. I know where to go. I know where to go. But so my brother's decked out in Kyle Busch gear, and his wife Samantha, Kyle Busch's wife Samantha, who was his girlfriend at the time, saw um saw my brother decked out in all this gear, and she was pointing to my brother because my dad put him on his shoulders, and we're like, Kyle might not sign for you, but he's gonna see you. And she pointed to him, and um, he ended up getting his autograph, so it was really cool. I was also at Richmond the night Dale Jr. got dumped.
Don't, my
Like
Kyle.
I was there that night. It was because Denny was like kicking everybody's butt. He led like 380 something laps of the 400, got a flat tire. It was me, my dad. At the time, my doctor, my family doctor, like parents, like just somehow they became friends with him, and it was the family doctor and his son, and he was a Dale Jr. fan. And
Oh Lord.
Denny was leading this race, yada yada. And this kid, he's like 8 years old, 9 years old. Denny's leading this race, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see Denny win, yada yada yada. Well, he catches that flat tire, and I'm like, dang it, like it. I'm like, that's he's not gonna win. Well, guess who takes the lead? Dale Jr. And he's all happy and excited, and he's like, he's really excited. I'm like, I wonder if Kyle's gonna get him, as we all were.
Oh, he
And
got him right.
when he spun him, I like it's funny because the kid looked at me when Denny got the flat, and he's like, sorry. And I'm like, whatever. Boy, I look down over there. He's crying. My dad told me after, he's like, I'm kind of glad that happened because he was like snotty to you when Denny got the flat. And I was like, yeah, I see what you mean. But like, is talk about brutal. Like that place wanted to tear. Like, I don't know how Kyle Busch got out of there alive.
Yeah, that kind of what got my hate going for Kyle Busch for a good bit is because I was a huge Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, and I think that was during Junior's winless draft, if I remember
It
correctly.
was,
Or
yeah, it was big.
yeah,
I think he
so
was going to break it, and sheesh, that had to be a
well,
miserable what 4 years or so. That had
like
to be
like
brutal.
like I said earlier, I didn't watch a ton of NASCAR until like 2012, 2013. So I watched it here and there, but I wasn't like religiously every Sunday sitting down watching the race and stuff like that. So I didn't really suffer through it. I mean, it was frustrating. Like you'd go to school and you would get online because that's when the internet became a thing, and like, oh,
Yeah,
well, Junior lost again. Dang it.
yeah.
So, but no, I actually got the ability to meet Bush when he went to Millbridge with him and Brexton when they were going against each other for the first time, and I brought my oldest who's a Kyle Busch fan. How I don't know, which kind of got me to like him a little bit. But so we went there, and you know, not that I didn't like Kyle Busch at the time. It's just I wasn't a huge fan of him. But we went there, and I'm so used to when you meet people because when I was in the army, we got to go to Charlotte a couple times and walk the pits, and all the drivers just kind of rush us off and want nothing to do with us and stuff like that because they got stuff to do. Well, Bush, while he's
VIPs and sponsorship things.
yeah, Bush, while he's like preparing for his next heat race, qualifying and stuff like that, he's talking to fans, and my oldest, he's on the spectrum, and so he can be a little much at times, and
Right. I
I'm sitting
gotcha.
there thinking if he starts getting into his usual self, like, oh my god, he's gonna annoy Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch just stood there and talked to that kid for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, dude, he just gained so much respect in my eyes. Like, he didn't rush the kid off. He didn't be like, no, 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 I can't go and hide. He like stood out there and was talking to all his fans and stuff like that. I was like, man, that's a huge prop in my eyes for someone like Kyle Busch, as popular as he is, to just stand out there and take away from his prep time for dirt racing and just talk to fans.
And
But
the I was gonna say, like some of the drivers that I've met a few just like getting autographs and like I don't hunt a lot of drivers, but to get autograph like if I'm at Richmond, I'm just trying to see Denny, but occasionally you'll see other drivers like, and there's certain drivers that are nice, and then there's certain drivers who are not. Denny's always been. I'm not saying it. I'm gonna sound biased because I'm a Denny fan, but he does love the fans. Like he will sign for most people. Um, One of the people who doesn't come off as nice, in my experience, is like Christopher Bell. Him and his wife. I don't. His wife is like. I think I'm gonna. Well, I'm not. I'm not gonna say anything. Like I remember seeing her at Richmond, and she thinking her stuff did not stink. And I'm like, well, she probably had a great life, but like, you think like some of the drivers' wives are friendly or whatever and whatnot. Like, I've been in the pits like helping out a truck team before, and like you see these truck drivers with their girlfriends, and their girlfriends just think they're like the bomb.com.
yeah,
And I'm just like, you're kind of just average. We know why you're here.
but
We
no,
know
it's
why
it's
you're
funny.
here.
Going back to my oldest. So we went to Martinsville and Darlington this year.
Which one?
So uh, Martinsville won, and I went to both Darlingtons. But so we went to
So you saw
Martinsville.
some excellent finishes to Darlington 1 and Martinsville 1.
So we went to the first. I brought my kid to both, and we went to the Martinsville race. And mind you, this kid does not like Denny. Partially my fault, actually mostly my fault. He just does not like Denny Hamlin. He anytime he hears Denny Hamlin, he's like, "Boo, you suck."
Just gives them the
Stuff like
11s.
that. Yeah. And so he's 10, right? And so we went to Martinsville and Denny Hamlin wins. So my kid's all pissed off. He's like, "The stupid Denny won. He sucks." And I'm like, it happens, buddy." And then we went to Darlington, and I have never seen this kid freak out so much. We're sitting there at Darlington, and that last caution comes out, and Denny's in the lead. And next thing I know, my kid is throwing an absolute fit, crying and everything like this. I'm like, Ainsley, what the hell is wrong? He's like, I don't want to see Denny win again.
Look, you want to talk about someone almost pitching a fit, not really pitching a fit. Like I saw this one race in person, and the result was like we were all like, What do we do now? I guess we'll just go home. I went to the 2018 Daytona 500 when Austin Dillon won with my dad, and one, people were upset because Chase Elliott wrecked. I remember we had decent seats, and we were up high, and I Chase, like, in between three and four, just got wrecked and he shot up into the wall, and there's this guy in front of me that was just like, no, and I'm like, dude, come on, like, you're freaking out over a 22-year-old. But yeah, Austin Dillon won that, and my dad's just like, what did I just wit? What just happened?
There are
I
some
guess let's
fans
just go home.
there are some people that get way too much in NASCAR. It's like you would think we're watching the Super Bowl with how into the race these fans get. And I'm like, jeez.
Super Bowl. I speaking of Super Bowl, I know you're a Patriots fan from
I'm from
Washington
Washington.
State. So it's like your home state team is playing against the team that you like.
Hmm. I
So
don't know wrong. I was rooting for them both. Like I root for them both all the time. But when it comes down to they play each other, we're Patriots all the way. So
I'd
this
like
is
the
the second
Patriots to
time
win.
in 11 years.
I want the Patriots. I'm not a fan of either, but I want the Patriots to win. I don't like the Seahawks at all. You're telling me Sam Darnold could be a potential Super Bowl winner?
Why would that make you mad? Maybe because your team didn't pass up on them.
No, no, not at all. It's just like it's more of like nothing against Sam Darnold. It's just like I guess we've been given the idea that he is mid mediocre for years, but I mean, I guess when you play for the Jets and stuff, I can't
Well,
remember who's
I
played after
mean,
that. Like that'll do that to you. I guess
let's be honest.
good coach and stuff will bring the greatness out in you, I suppose.
If we're talking about mid quarterback Super Bowl winners, Jalen Hurts won last year, so
Yeah, I'm a Washington fan, so I don't like to see him be successful at all. He's annoying because he's good and like he's like he's got a lot of weapons around him, but like I get annoyed like when it's like, all right, Washington has him at 3rd and 13, and then he pulls off this Cinderella run or a big play, and it's like I Monday morning quarterback a lot. I'm like, could you like make a tackle or a stop? Like, what are you doing? Anyway.
yeah, these I don't like running quarterbacks. They're not my
Um,
favorite.
So we both have league races coming up, so I'm gonna wrap this up here shortly. I I ask a lot of people on here, like, when it comes to iRacing, like, what um what would you change? Like, what would you add certain cars? Would you add certain tracks? What changes would you make if you were in charge?
Um, well, the only change I would want to make, you can't really make because iReach is so realistic, but these dang next gens are just. No, actually, you know what? There's one thing, and maybe this is just the crew chief and strategist in me talking. If there's one thing I wish you could change, or iReach would do, can we please just be able to adjust tire pressure and wedge on fixed setups? Like it's not asking for a lot, but just that small adjustment on tire pressure and wedge can go a long way. Because those fixed setups, they're they suck, and it's not for everybody. So if you could just adjust tire pressure and wedge to fit your racing style, I think that makes fixed racing and really league racing, because a lot of leagues do fixed setups a lot more fun.
Yeah. I think I'd add more car. Like the officials here recently have just been snoozers. I've been kind of bored with them. Like before I was married and I wasn't living in under the same roof with my wife. Like when I was living alone, I would like be racing all the time, and I like this is fun. This is fun. I'd be back to back to back to back to back to back. Now I'm like I'll race one or two, but like the racing has just been kind of dull. And they need to add more cars to the AI mode. Like if there's cars that aren't being used in officials or like the legacy cars, like hey, let them be used for AI. Like come on, iRacing, step it up. Step it up.
They need to add a story mode because NASCAR 25 is fun and all, but the driving physics are so wonky. I just
You
wish you would add like a
think a
story mode
story
to
mode could be
iRacing.
added to
Hmm.
iRacing?
I wish. I mean, you have the AI seasons. Why not just make a story mode?
Hmm. I think that'd be interesting. I think that the guy. Don't get me wrong. Just because like we're in like a dull season of some of the official races, in my personal opinion, doesn't mean iRacing's doing a bad job. They're always thinking of something to add and working on stuff. So I will give them all the props in the world. Just I feel like right now it's a little dull, but it'll get better. So like 10 years from now, we'll be like, oh, I remember when that was new. Now they got 15 other cars added. Um, but what league race you got coming up?
Um, it's the league I've been in, broadcast I'm doing, but I've been in this league for about the same time I've been on iRacing. I joined iRacing and a couple weeks later joined this league. But it's a relentless racing league. It's a progression style league to where when you join, you race ARCA and then you race the season, move your way up the trucks, and so you got to move your way up.
That's cool.
Basically, everyone in Cup has been in that league for at least 3 or 4
You're
seasons.
racing in it or you're calling it? You're
No,
announcing.
I'm broadcasting it tonight. Tonight's Xfinity. I race there Wednesday nights.
Okay. I kind of like that idea. Like new like progression. That's pretty cool. I like that. Something.
Yeah, and I like it too, but sometimes it's a frustrating that because I can't race. We can't race down there. So let's say I'm not busy on a Tuesday, I can't go race trucks. We're not allowed to. So that's the kind of frustrating part is we're just stuck to our one series. So that's
Hmm.
kind of why I don't run anything but next gens now, just because of the fact I don't. For one, I don't like Xfinity, and for two, trucks are a lot of the tracks are just super speedways for the most part. So I was like, I'll just run next gens. Granted, they suck like hell, and you can't pass, and the aero blocking's insane. But
Mentally, it's
hey,
like you're a cup driver. So like that's the positives. Like in your mind, with this league, you're a cup driver. You're at the top. People are
hmm
wearing your shirts and hats and seeking your autographs on the virtual nights that you run.
I
Um,
race there, and then as we both know, we have another league kicking up. Oh God, is it this weekend? I think it is.
what? Oh.
500 this
Oh,
weekend?
oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm not participating in that. One, it's going to be chaos. Two, it's my day off. And then, like, I understand. Like, I paid for NSRLA, but like, I'm not really paying for this league unless like the price drops or like later on. That league is so long from late January all the way to November. That's just like really,
Hey, buddy,
really
I hate to
long.
break it to you, but I think NSRA is gonna be the same thing
Well, they break it up.
next season.
They break it up.
No, not next season. I don't think so. I think we have a long season next season.
Well, that's fine. I'll commit to them. I'm more like I probably like do cup, and then most that as my number one, and the rest I'll just pick and choose. But
But
um,
yeah, and then I know we got NSRA.
yeah,
I don't even know where the hell we're racing at. Just mainly because I'm not racing for anything but fun.
yeah.
I
I
don't
think we
even
got a
coach.
race for that tonight. Trucks at Nashville. So
Where the heck
once
are we
I
racing at
get off
tomorrow?
Richmond, I think
Ah,
should
you
be
ain't
fun.
sure
I think
where
I
that
think it's
race
Richmond, but real quick before I let you go, I try to ask every guest on the show, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Well, I'm gonna put it this way. I grew up in Washington. It's a common thing over there. It's good. For all you people out there judging it and saying it doesn't, try it. Just try it. It's not nasty if you think it is. A lot of people hate on it because oh, pineapple people ew, that's nasty, and then you have you tried it? Oh no, then shut up. Like unless you've tried it, I mean, the only people I've talked to that have tried it that don't like are people who don't like pineapple. So unless you try it, shut up. So yes, it does.
So you like it? Okay. All right. Well,
Yes.
Andy is no longer alone. That is two for yes. But
It's just I don't know, man. Like maybe because I grew up like Canadian bacon, pineapple pizza was very common back home. Like you would go to God, I can't say I'm saying Godfather because that place don't exist no more. But you go to Godfather, Domino's, Pizza Hut's like one of the common three. Like I know around here, I'm over here. Like the common three are I think pepperoni, cheese, and then depending on where you're at. I think barbecue chicken's really popular around here, and what's the other one that's really common around here? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's different pieces common in different parts of the country you go to, and it's just over there on the West Coast. I think pineapple on pizza is common. It's good. Try it. Don't eat on it.
Well, I gotta run. I got a league race I gotta get into, and I gotta take care of something before I do that. So, Isaac, it's been fun talking to you, man. This has been a great episode, and good luck broadcasting tonight. For all you fans, guests, listeners, whatever, they're gonna hear this podcast. Share it, like it, subscribe. I'm pushing out more episodes and try to get better with my broadcasting, podcasting skills. So, yeah, thanks for being on the show, man. And I will see you tomorrow night.
Oh, thank you.
Later, man.